Welcome back, everybody, to your daily news report on your first, second, and yes, now your third stimulus check update, the relief package, EIDL, PPP 2.0, and yeah, we still talk things in the CARES Act. Today is the 23rd of January. Happy Saturday, everybody. Find out important details on the EIDL grant program and how thousands more may qualify for that full $10,000. This is for all those small business owners, 1099, gig workers. If you guys had side hustles, nearly 60% of all Americans who previously qualified under the CARES Act. You guys are going to want to hear this information, so come on and get your news. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Edward Bilder. You guys are watching another video of Ask Builder. To all my loyal subscribers out there, welcome back for another video. If you guys are joining us for the first time, welcome. Consider becoming a subscriber. We're going to talk some big details on the EIDL targeted advanced grants and the advanced grants because we uncovered some research that may open up this availability to thousands of more individuals that we previously thought were not qualified. So we're going to talk some very important details that most people are not even talking about right now. This is important because there are a lot of unanswered questions with the SBA, and we're trying to unveil some of that right here so that we don't miss out on an opportunity of up to that $10,000 in the free grant program. This is money that you don't have to repay. This is also a big video because we're nearing that 5,000th subscriber milestone, and everybody out there who is commenting on my videos, you guys are amazing because I am giving away $500 when I hit my 5,000 subscriber. I'm going to pick a lucky comment from down below. So comment all over the place. I want to see like 400 comments on this video, because it increases your chances of winning. All right, you guys can comment all over the place, comment on my other videos, and I'm going to pull one lucky subscriber from the comments down below to send $500 your way when I hit 5,000 subscribers. So best of luck to everybody. You guys could also join me on Instagram. PM me there anytime you want. There is roughly 600 viewers right now that we are tracking a play-by-play of everything that is happening with their PPP Draw 1s and their PPP Draw 2s. So thank you to everybody who found me on Instagram. You guys are amazing, giving us status updates daily so that we can report those statuses out to you and help other viewers. Everybody out there is amazing. Keep your messages coming. All right, guys, we're going to get into some big details here. I don't want you guys to miss anything. There's opportunities out there right now, and they could pass you by. And we know the SBA, they're not really so much on our side. So the more we know, the better we are empowered. Okay, much of this debate all comes from the 331 targeted advanced grants from the guidelines of the SBA. Okay, I mean, frankly, I don't really trust the SBA. Okay, I mean, after what they did during the CARES Act time, it's kind of hard to have a lot of faith in them. But what it does, the guidelines specifically, okay, if you go to the guidelines specifically, you're going to see that there's a way of determining what a low-income community is, okay? And the way they determine what a low-income community is straight out of 45D-E of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. And most people and news reporters and influencers, when they talk about this information, they only talk about the first part of it. And the very first part of it is very straightforward and specific, and it spells out that 80-20 rule. And I talk about the 300 80-20 rule because it's spelled out in 331, the 30% reduction, 300 or fewer employees, and this 80% 20% rule that if you are at a poverty rate such tract is at least 20%, you qualify, or if you're located in a tract of the metropolitan area, big word, metropolitan area, and the median family income is 80% of the statewide family median income, then you also qualify, right? In the metropolitan area, that's important to know because it's not just your city, and it's not just your county, it's metropolitan area. It could be several groups, whatever they deemed as the metropolitan area. For that 80% rule. So that's pretty important to understand too. And most people stop there. That's where they end. They stop right there. They stop at the 300 80-20 rule, and it doesn't go any further than that. But there are other ways that 45DE opens up the potential for thousands and thousands of more to receive their full $10,000. And I'd like you all to be informed of what this is so that you at least have a chance of reaching out to the SBA and asking them for clarification if you fall in one of these next categories I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to outline with you step 2. Now, step one is basically the secretary deems these areas, right? And it's straightforward. It's like if you fall in this zone, it's very, vague and specific at the same time. It's like, here's the zone, 80-20. If you're in there, that's the biggest group. So, you'll fall in the zone. But now, if you have special conditions in your community, your low-income community, we have to talk about more specific terms that get you closer to this $10,000. And look, before we get all stressed out talking about how we're going to get that extra $10,000, it may be a good time to swing by Webull in the description and get yourself those 4 free stocks. Get yourself a win in before we talk about how we're going to get that extra money, all right? And if you're all stressed, swing by and get yourself life insurance as well in the description in as little as 5 minutes. So what else does Section 45DE tell us of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986? And this is where the thousands more may qualify for a targeted advance grant, because it offers different definitions of what low-income community is. It talks about targeted populations, that the secretary shall provide regulations under which one or more targeted populations of this 10320 of the Regal Community Development and the Regulatory Improvement Act of 1994 may be treated as low-income communities. Now it says may be treated as low-income communities. Whether or not the SBA will dive into may is a question, but it says may be treated as low-income communities. Such that regulations shall include procedures for determining which entities are qualified active low-income community businesses with respect to such populations. Okay, that's cool. What does 10320 mean for a Regal Community Development and a Regal Improvement Act of 1977? Well, Section 103 calls out targeted populations, means individuals or indefinable group of individuals, including Indian tribes, who are, get this, low-income persons, otherwise lack of adequate access to loans or equity investments. That's big, right? That's big. Low-income persons, no longer in communities, low-income persons because they're a group of persons, and they lack adequate access to loans or equity investments. Now, I know it's kind of vague of what that really means, but in the American Job Creation Act of 2004, this is like kind of amended inside of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, they also talk about the Secretary's authority to designate the targeted population and create these 3 new categories of communities. And this entails more people that may qualify. High out migration of rural counties and census tracts. That takes and what that means is people that are leaving an area, right? If they were in a population 20 years ago and then the new census 20 years later said we dropped X percent, it may fit into the high out migration rural county census tracts where you would increase from 80% of your median family income against the state to 85%, right? So it opens up 5 more percent. Low population empowerment zones. This is the second of the 3. Low population empowerment zones. And I mean, that's places that are economically distressed, okay? Very economically distressed. And we could talk about who they are, all right? We'll talk about them just in a moment of who would be considered economically distressed. And targeted populations. They say targeted populations, again, this is the 3rd one. Certain individuals or indefinable groups of individuals, including Indian tribes, who are low-income persons, they say it again, and otherwise lack adequate access to loans. Okay, what does that all mean? Let's sum it up just a little bit here for a moment, because I know I said a lot of big words, and even I get confused over some of these big words. So let's talk about what low-income persons and lack of adequate access to loans means. Let's figure that out. So what are we talking about here? I wanted to sum it up for you a little bit because I know I talked about the high output rule and the low population empowerment zones and then the targeted zones and the low income persons and the adequate access to loans. Right? I talked about that. And so what does that mean to us? It means that the secretary to designate targeted populations as low communities, I mean, we don't really need them to do that because there's other criteria that will do it for us. Like populations or individuals of households in specific local geographic areas that are in that low income community. And we already know what they are. These are places like long-term unemployment, or places with high SNAP and WIC, or places with risk of homeless individuals, or reduced lunches in schools even would tell you that you're in a low-income community. Unpaid utility bills for a certain zone, or certain earnings that have been reduced. These are all places that are in low-income communities and highlight those low-income persons, right? And then we also know about the migration. So like if you had a large amount of people migrate from a 20-year span, so 20 years ago the first census was the benchmark, and now 20 years later, if a certain percentage of that migration left the area and it reduced, you get boosted up to 85% instead of 80% of the family median household against the state. Family median household income against the state. So the unanswered questions. These are big unanswered questions. Will the SBA recognize this? Right? In the guidelines, they pointed out 45D. Okay? They brought that to our attention, directing us to go and read 45D. But they also said that specifically people in the low income communities will be the only ones that will fall into this category. Now, are they only talking about category 1? Are they only talking about category 1, or are they talking about the low income persons, or the people that have lack of adequate resources to loans? Are they talking about these people as well? We need these are the questions we need to have answered. Okay, and we're going to track it here. We're going to track it right here, and we're going to see what the SBA's position is. We're going to see who gets the first rounds of loans, and we're going to see if people request. I know the portal right now is telling you the portal doesn't exist. Don't send me an email. Don't call me. We'll call you. People are going to have to reach into the SBA and tell them to recognize 45D part number 2. And that's what we need help for on this channel. Everybody out there who is, believe that they're in that 45D part 2 that I just described, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you in the comments. So while there is no debate on the topic of 331 for that, and I say this all the time, the 30-300 80-20 rule, that's your 30% reduced gross revenues over 8-week period, 300 or fewer employees, and the 80% of the family median income against the state, and the 20% in your tract. It definitely spells out that there's $20 billion, right? And it definitely spells out that you'll get the full $10,000 or the balance of, right? If you got $1,000, you'll get $9,000 more. There's no doubt about that, right? But where it gets debatable is when we talk about 45D. And it's still very debatable when we talk about 332, right? Because it specifically amended the CARES Act, and it changed the time from 3 to 21 days. And here's I brought up the word flexible yesterday as Biden talked about it during his executive orders when he was signing. He said, we're opening up flexible grants. Flexible grants, he said. Flexible grants, very specific. In the guidelines, under 332, sorry, not in the guidelines. Under the 332, it says allows the SBA flexible time to determine if an applicant qualifies. They want flexible time and more information to know if people are committing fraud, right? So flexible grants. Biden might have been talking about flexible grants in terms that the SBA now has more authority to determine who gets a grant and who doesn't get a grant, giving them the power again, right? Giving them the power to say, no, the $1,000 was enough. You don't get anything additional, right? Right? So flexible grants is a word I don't like to use, and it's definitely used in 332. Flexible is in 332. So what else 332 did? It extended the declaration time, right? So if you want to take a pandemic declaration, it extended the time for you to go out and get a loan out to 12/31/2021. There's no doubt about that. It's definitely written in there. So answer the question yourselves. Do you believe that 332 is designed to give us more money? or give us the full $10,000 if we decided we asked for it. Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to deliver you guys the information as I see it, and come to a realization together. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know it's not the best thing to talk about, but so let me know down in the comments. Thank you to everybody who followed me along on this video. I hope you found it useful. You guys are an amazing community. I thank you to everybody who out there is commenting and helping build this channel, because we're getting close to that 5,000th milestone. It's a big milestone for me. So thank you to everybody. I appreciate everybody who helped us get there, and who is helping their neighbor, their friends, their fellow viewers that are watching this channel, helping everybody understand what is going on in the world, what is going on with PPP, what is going on with EIDLs, and helping everybody on this channel. Not just me build a channel, but helping everybody. It's pretty amazing. So thank you guys all. Remember, when I hit my 5,000 subscriber, I'm going to pick one lucky comment, and I'm going to send a $500 check out to you guys. So get your comments in. I want to see like 400 comments on this video alone. All right. And guys, find me on Instagram. Join the 600 others that are tracking PPP and PPP1 and PPP2, and helping us provide updates to everybody else. So thank you guys again. I will catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.